Well, a useful thing that might be useful to do at this point? That sounded stupid. A useful thing to do might be to begin our quest on mystical agriculture, which might allow us to grow some of this stuff that we're having to brew up with alchemy. And to start with, we probably should make some seeds to grow more inferium. But first we need more inferium. We should get by murdering mobs. Well, YOLO. Now that we have some actual armor, this is a lot less hazardous. Ow. Oh dear. Once again, having food prepared would be useful. There's one. Ha! Ha! Grab a bit of this tall grass, because I believe we will have use for it. Anything in here that needs killing? Yes, yes there is. I didn't bring enough torches for this. This was not a well-planned expedition. Right. Let's try this again with a bit more supplies. No. It's not even a cave, that's just a dimple. Let's make a way of getting in and out instead of just YOLOing it. Target acquired. Oh, that's one more. Alright. That'll do. Can I make inferium seeds? These need to grow on anything special. What does this need to grow on? Inferium farmland. So I need one more inferium. Boneheads. There we go. There's our one. So what we do is take some dirt, hoe it in the crafting table, and mix it with inferium. I have inferium farmland, so we can now, hopefully, plant these seeds. Can we watering can them? Yef. Yef we can. Now, the quest book says cloning these does not work, which means this will not work. So we're going to have to just grow another 8. Scary question, what happens if I try to dig this up? We lose our inferium. That's good to know. Will these agricraft wheat seeds work? Yef. Yef they will. Alright. So, we'll now grow a second one of these. And now, apparently, what we can do is we can crossbreed them. So if we go like this, hopefully we'll get an offspring. And we did. We got a slightly better one. Oh, after quite some rounds of selective breeding, managed to grow 2 plants with maximum stats. Focused on mutativity first, in the hopes that would improve the rest of the stats more quickly, and that seems to have worked. Also, I've gotten over 2 stacks of inferium in the process. The other thing we need is prosperity shards, which you can get by pickaxing nuggets on the cutting board. Unfortunately, there's only about a 15% chance of getting a shard out of each nugget. Lame. Now for the next thing, we're going to need to brew up some more gold. So first I'm going to brew up a bunch more clay jars. Then I'm going to get a whole bunch of hawthorn ruin saplings. This is going to be a slow... Welp. This is going to be a slow process. This may be a really slow process. Here's the problem. That's 3 ingots. We need 18. This is going to be a really slow process if we try to do it this way. We may want to put this quest on hold until we've got a better way of getting gold. Well, some time has passed. And in the meantime, I've made a front yard. I infilled the lake, sort of. I went and climbed to the top of our hill, sheared a whole bunch of dirt off the top of it, started placing it down here, and then I realized the lake was way too deep to infill. And so then I got a big brain moment, or maybe a really stupid moment, I'm not sure, and started pouring a bunch of lava onto the water to make a stone base. We're still papering over the lake, for the most part, but at least it's got a solid base instead of just a bunch of dirt. You can see there's still a bunch of lake underneath our yard to drown in if we're not careful. Also, I grew a whole bunch of spruce giants here to turn this dried earth into podzol. And then I used a trick to turn the podzol back into dirt by shoveling it into a dirt path, and then hoeing it back into farmland and waiting for it to dry out. Also, I'm in the process of redecorating our hole. So I've made some dark oak planks as wall panels, and was in the middle of replacing the floor with birch until I ran out and had to wait for more to grow. So that's where we stand right now. Now we're just waiting for our grass to finish spreading from this one patch I made earlier to the rest of the lawn. So we take a look at our quest lines again. Setting aside our mystical agriculture side quests, our next steps are either to continue with Botania, or start exploring natural aura. For that, we need some ass. And for that, we need some snad. I don't have any snad. Here's some snad. Once again, it's annoyingly underwater. Let's turn some of this cold glass into hot sand. So first we need to make bottles. And then we just stick some wood in the top. And we just flick it in the air, apparently. We have bottled sunlight, which amazingly managed to collect in a cave. But whatever. So while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to do a smart. Instead of just digging out this stone and replacing it with birch, I'm just going to stick the pure daisies on them and convert them into... convert it into living rock first. Just because. So next we need the natural altar. For that we need a bunch of stone. And we needed to perform a ritual of the forest. This will be handier. This will be easier to do than before, now that I have a nice, flat outdoor space to do it in. I don't have any oak sapling. Do I have any oak trees? I haven't actually made any oak trees, have I? We have dark oak. Dark oak doesn't count. We have some Mutandus. Let's see how badly the RNG screws us this time. Nope. 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 Finally. I'm not happy with the amount of bone meal I had to use to get that. While we're waiting for this tree to grow, I am going to get some more dye, make some more floral fertilizer. I'm going to fertilize up some more Botania flowers, because there's a couple more that we need. What we're going to try to do here. Red is one of the ones I need. The green ones don't look like broccolis anymore. Brown was one of them, if I didn't have it already. Light gray was the last one. We're going to make endoflames. This is the flower you make in the Petal Apothecary. And the recipe is brown, brown, red, and light gray. Also, I'm going to brew up some more living wood, because we're going to need that as well. Alright, we have the ones we need. Now we just need seeds. Slosh. Alright, we have 16 endoflames. What these things will do is, they will generate mana. It's basically liquefied magical energy. Now, to store that mana, we need a mana pool. I usually like to make 2. And to transmit the mana from the flowers to the pool, we need mana spreaders. Which means we need gold. We're using our meager supply of gold to make these. And we're probably going to need 2. Because, 1 does not move enough mana to, transmit the mana from 16 flowers. And finally, we need a Wand of the Forest. You can make a Wand of the Forest out of any colored petal. And the petal you use determines the color of your wand. And this is my last blue petal, so I'm just going to go plant it so I don't lose it. Plonk. So here's how we're going to set it up. First, we're going to knock out some space. And put down the mana pools like this. Mana spreaders like this. And by that, I mean, we're going to put them like this. Shift right click on a spreader. And then shift right click on a pool. And the spreader is now pointing at the pool. And we put down the endoflames. And if you hover over the endoflames with the wand, it will tell you which spreader they're connected to. They should automatically connect to the nearest one when you place them down. But you can also rebind them with the wand. Now, the next thing we need is fuel. These things run on burnable fuel. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of it. But it'll get us started. And that was it. And that was all the, mana we got out of that. Well, I guess I'm gonna set up a bunch of furnaces and just start smelting up a bunch of charcoal. Alright, I think we're at the point where I can spare a sapling for this ritual. Let's go, build the, ritual space. Plunk. Oh, I made 12. I only needed 8. That was dumb. That was dunderheaded. I have no idea if the particular arrangement matters here, so I'm just gonna do whatever. Let's go grab some bone meal to grow this tree. This time, cameraman Nathan will actually watch, so you can see the visual effect. And there it is. You can now use this for crafting new magical things. Enderman's been here.